You're watching Oilersnation Radio.
This is Oilersnation Radio, your one-stop shop for everything Oilers. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Bagged Milk, Tyler, Liam, Rick, and Dan starts now.
Wait, you cut the stripper part out?
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to say strippers.
Maybe it'll make a return at some point.
Ooh. That should
New
be a
intro.
button.
Thank you, Lisa.
That should be a button.
What?
Strippers.
Strippers. Strippers.
You never know when.
A hot performer,
Could be.
right? Or, well, yeah. Depends what kind of club we're going to.
Depends what shift.
Yeah, daytime shift, not so much. Anyway,
That Monday lunch isn't so hot.
listen, the lunch buffet is delicious, though. We don't want to talk about the game last night. No? Right. Okay.
I called it the most scheduled loss in the history of scheduled losses. It was like they won the first two games without Connor.
But like the thing was that they played well and they just like
They can't fucking score still.
They can't score.
They still can't score.
It was so frustrating. And then my unofficial count on how many open nets they missed was what, 4?
I think there was 5 total in the game.
And then they still hit
Crazy.
the iron once or twice again. And then every other time they had an opportunity in close, they either put it right into his chest or missed the net.
There was a lot of shots to the chest, like prime spot to shoot right in the logo.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in a second. I don't want to, but we will.
Step to the right, take a quick shot. You don't want to be a big bomb, just put it on net. Both goals against Calgary, against us, went through like 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Did we not learn?
Got to practice on shooter tutors again.
I honestly would not allow practice to end. I would get a bunch of midget goaltenders. And I mean like age, not. And you put 2 goaltenders in each net and you put up a bunch of nets out there. And no one's allowed to leave till they score 100 goals on these 2 goalies in the net at once.
That's why they call it U18 now, Rick.
Midget, bantam,
Bantam,
peewee, novice, Tom Thumb. I still call it Tom Thumb and novice.
Adam was one.
What was the very first level for you?
Initiation.
Pre-novice.
It went initiation, novice, Adam, peewee, bantam, midget.
Yeah, see, we had something called Tom Thumb that went into novice.
Oh, Tom Thumb. I love that's a soup, I think.
It is a good one.
Tom Yum.
Yeah.
Delightful. Anyway.
I still call them all the old names. I don't know what they're anymore. The ages have changed too, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Wasn't it a couple of years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Cancel culture strikes again.
Yep. Way to go. I'm going to kick off the podcast for our friends at Odd Company Brewing, home of the all-new Nation Beer. It's called Nation Beer Everyday Lager. It's delicious. Perfect for the next big game or your next go-to lager. I just realized as I'm reading this, I still owe Lehman beers.
Why?
Well, the Vikings lost to the Detroit Lions. Yeah, that did happen.
Shocker. The best team in the football.
Well, they're not the undefeated team.
It's true.
That's fine. New England were the undefeated team.
That is true.
Ask them how that ended it.
They lost.
Yeah, they ended at a loss.
What happened in 1972?
The Summit Series.
Tony Timbit hockey was going on, whatever you called it.
No, the 72 is the only time a team has ever been undefeated all the way through and win the Super Bowl.
Who was it?
Miami.
Oh,
They have a party every year.
They have they raise champagne every year after the last undefeated team loses.
That might be the saddest party.
Not at all.
But you might get to attend that party like 4 times before the team that's undefeated gets eliminated from being undefeated.
No, you only sit down. They only do
Hang
it.
on, explain this to me. So the Chiefs are undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
When they lose a game, Dolphins fans have a party?
No, the players that were on that
Players who were on that team celebrate like our record made it another year.
Yeah.
So those players from 72.
Yeah.
They make it like a yearly tradition. It's like last year when the Eagles finally lost at like 8-1. Those players from the 72 team all go, hey, another year.
Well, it's an excuse to party, I guess. Why not?
I don't know, but you probably don't need that large of a table anymore.
Oof.
Yeah,
Touche.
that's sad. 72 is a minute ago.
Yeah,
The coach is gone now.
They're in their 70s and 80s. Yeah.
Don Shula passed away.
Party ends earlier, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Starts earlier too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Starts in the afternoon game.
They know how to do it. Man. They get in there a good 2 p.m. They're going.
They get a good coffee in them for the morning slate, and then they're in bed for the afternoon ones.
Heck yeah.
I get it. I'm with you. Anyway, Nation Beer. Perfect for the next big game or your undefeated party. Find it at Odd Company Brewing and at Liquor Connect. If it is not at a liquor store near you, please ask them why. Ask them to bring it in. It is delicious. I promise you'll enjoy it. Liam and I I did forget about you. I'm not going to lie.
That's okay. I thought about it the other day too. When my
Thirsty at the
Lions
moment?
beat another divisional opponent. I don't know. 2 another division seem pretty.
Yep. I'll get you, buddy. Don't worry about it. Promise.
Okay.
Tyler?
Yep.
Turn the podcast over to you. Delicious debate time. What do you got?
What swing state results tonight are you most intrigued by?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Something in the middle.
Figured we could sink our
Really
teeth into that one.
thinking Alaska's going to decide the Republic this time.
Yeah, so what is it? Pennsylvania,
I said
Michigan.
Michigan.
Michigan's a big
Yep.
one. I
Yeah.
think.
Nevada is in play.
Oh, is that the?
I'm just saying words.
I think Nevada's typically blue.
I don't know.
You could
Thanks,
just be
Liam.
saying things to me.
Throw
I have no
Liam
idea.
in front of one of those maps where he starts dotting it, and you
Yeah.
see if Pennsylvania goes red, and then like ding ding.
My
The
favorite
Electoral
meme I saw about the American election was tired of the electoral college splits. Here's what dogs see. And it was just all gray.
No, I do have a real delicious debate for this Oilers podcast we
Go
do.
ahead.
And it's a simple one. We like doing this once in a while. The Oilers have played 3 games without Connor McDavid. They're 2-1. Give them a letter grade. How do you think the boys have played without Connor in the lineup?
Had they, I mean, like, even if they lost last night, I would have probably given it an A, even with a loss, had they been able to score. But getting shut out for the second time at home, it's going to bump the grade down.
Okay.
I'm going to go B plus.
I was thinking B because they should have won last night too. I think. I thought they were really good against Nashville. Good
Calgary was
against
a bit of a
Calgary,
roller
but like
coaster.
Calgary did have some pushback too. But that's always going to be a tough game, no matter what. It's Calgary Edmonton, so I'll give them a B. I think they've played pretty well.
I go A after seeing the effort against Columbus when McDavid is down. I didn't expect to see as much of a pushback and fight back as I have from the team. And it's a team that seems to have shaken that start of the game issue that they were having for the first 3 games. Of course, I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope that that's not just a blip here. But yeah, better start to the game, which has been a huge thing for this team.
I'm sitting on a B. I expect a lot more of this team right now, even with Connor being down. I wanted to see some guys step up a little more. I like the way Leon looked in the first 2 games.
Hmm.
The Calgary game, though, like 15 minutes into the first, we were running that show. We should have been able to put them out of their misery early. They didn't. They let them punch back, and they punched back all the way.
I wrote it in my recap on Oilersnation.com that when Skinner scored that second goal in the first period, I was like, this is looking like point night.
Yeah,
Because they were running the show. And then in the second period, they took their foot off the gas.
We just don't seem to have that killer instinct, that one where you want to see blood, or you want to hold your opponent down and just keep punching them and punching them and punching them. We let them get up. They were almost we play like Derek Ryan dresses. You know that stupid flat hat he wears? Like, it's very gentlemanly and whatnot. We don't need that. We need guys who are out there willing to like go for blood. Like, I'm done with this. We have some of the best players in the world, and we're still.
I'm going to buy you a Kangol cap for Christmas.
Yeah, please.
I think I give the Flames more credit in that game
And they shouldn't.
than the Oilers.
shouldn't.
I just think that's a team that in Calgary is playing way above its weight class right now, and I give them credit for that.
Yeah, but we didn't play as well as we could have.
Of course not, but
And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day for me. Where's a team that's supposed to be in the Stanley Cup
Conversation.
Yeah. And if we keep playing the way we are right now, and I understand, like, I'm not worried about the record right now. I'm worried about what I see on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think we have that killer instinct yet. We need to go out there and want to put up 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10 goals. Janmark, when he scored that goal at 2 seconds to go from center ice,
Puck line win.
I like that. Put the damn puck in the net. I know the other team got pissed off because, why are you shooting the puck? There's 2 seconds to go. The game's over. Put it in the corner. It doesn't.
No.
Put the puck in the net as often as you can.
Score.
Bill Belichick used to be up like 49-0 and still be throwing for touchdowns. That's what I want to see out of this team. That's how you go and you win and you stomp people.
But I think that comes more on special teams than 5-on-5.
Either or.
Special teams is literally
anything right now.
losing them games, causing them not to get like a bit more of an advantage when they're on the power play, stuff like that. Like,
Sorry,
that's
Lehman,
what they
I'll
need.
just
Then
to give you
fine, in
some-
that practice where I'm making everybody score on all the goalies, then I'm taking 10 guys and I'm spending 45 minutes and all you're doing is killing penalties the whole time. And then we're going to sit there and watch a video from the last game. And with every mistake that you've made on the last game, we're coming up with some sort of 5, 10, 15, 20 push-up type of... we need to break our bad habits.
How many power plays do you want them, penalties do you want them to kill or attempt?
45 minutes worth.
No, 45 minutes was.
How many goals do you think would be counted?
On this team,
A zillion.
hundreds.
I was gonna
Well, like I
say.
said, but this is what it was like
Pretty
this
high.
last year too. At the very beginning, when we had like everybody on the
PK
team
was,
killing,
yeah, for sure.
everybody is
Yeah.
killing penalties. Then they're like, "Okay, you 6 forwards, you 4 defensemen, you are the PK team. You guys figure it out. This is now on you guys." That's what I'm expecting them to do right now.
Currently, as we're talking today, the Oilers power play ranks 26th at 14.7%, while the PK locked firmly in dead last at 60%.
So the worst penalty kill that a team has had over the course of an entire season since the year 2000 is the 2020 Devils, and they're at 71%. So the Oilers are currently 11% worse than the worst penalty kill in the league in the last 25 years, which I do think you can maybe take that as a bit of a positive. Is like, it can't stay this bad. Like, it's bad, but there's no way it's like so historically bad that it's 10% worse than any other PK unit. Like, there is a little bit of regression here. And I will also say, as much as Derek Ryan, Matthias Janmark both have brutal PK numbers, Henrique is like borderline at this point. And those are 3 guys who are in the bottom 6, who is like, your job is supposed to be a good penalty killer here. Calvin Pickard has a .563 save percentage
Is that
when
bad?
the Oilers are shorthanded. Stuart Skinner, I want to pull it up now just to show.
So do we? So while you're doing that, when we're up, okay, you 4 going out there, and Pick is playing. Pick come off the ice. Skinner, you go out there, and now Skinner's
Oh,
our
it's the Mike
PK
Morrison for the
He's our
shootout.
PK goalie.
So out of goalies who have been on the ice for at least 10 shorthanded minutes, so like roughly 5 penalties, sure. Calvin Pickard has the worst save percentage in the NHL at .563. Second worst is Georgiev at .667. He is a full 100 points behind second worst in the league. And don't worry, Stuart Skinner is 5th worst at .741. So again, I do think part of it, as much as I'm not one to be hard on the goalies, your goalie, what's the old line, Rick? Right? Your goalie's got to be your best penalty killer.
They do, but
And the Oilers goalies are their worst penalty killers.
they're all bad.
I know everything
But
stinks.
it's mistakes everywhere. Like, they're not getting the puck out. They're losing draws.'re losing battles. They're getting run around. Our defense is too small. You watch that. If you look at Jersey's defense last night, these guys are 6'4", 6'3", 6'2".
Could not disagree
Now,
with you more, because it was Matthias Ekholm that was bullied against Calgary.
Just because
with
you're big,
Anthony.
okay.
But that's not small.
You
He's
need to use your
6'4".
body. You need to use your body. I
I agree.
Stetcher.
That's
So if I
not
could take
about
Stetcher-
size, because Stetcher tried to bully Forsberg
doesn't
out of the
work,
way.
though.
But you just said it's about using your body, and he's using his body.
So sorry. You need to be big. Like, I'm sorry. We need bigger defense.
Well,
If
they
you
just got a
watch these
6'3" guy
they
yesterday.
They just leaned in front of our forwards, and our forwards couldn't go anywhere.
I really want to say something inappropriate, but I'm not gonna. I was gonna flag it even. I had my finger on the button. Anyway, back to you.
You're gonna flag me?
No. I was gonna say something horrible just now.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm gonna keep that to myself.
I think, like, again, if you want to be encouraged by it, like, we know the power play is going to snap back into some
We
way.
hope so.
Teams haven't just figured out how to stop Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. That'll get going. And the penalty kill, like, the forwards stink, the D-men stink, the goalie stinks. Okay, if 2 of those areas can stop stinking, the penalty kill will get better, and probably
fair.
astronomically better. Like, it'll come, and with the 5-on-5 stuff too. Like, I do think good special teams. With good special teams, the Oilers aren't 6-6-1. They're probably 8-4-1 if we're being honest. Like, they lost some tight games where their power play could have made a difference. And the other thing too, just looking at like producing chances, shot attempts per 60 minutes, the Oilers are second in the NHL. Shots per 60 minutes. This is only a 5-on-5. They are second in the NHL. You can go all the way to scoring chances per 60 in the NHL, or per 60 at 5-on-5, second in the NHL. So with all of that, the Oilers are 26th in goals. Okay, you can't produce, and I know people are saying like, and it's fair, like, they need to finish better. They absolutely did yesterday. They got to have a better killer instinct, all of that. But they're also NHLers, and over the course of an 82 game season, they will start to finish their chances. Like, that will happen at some point here.
I agree. And I mean, I said it last year when I just said, you stick with the Fogels and whatever. They're streaky players. That's why you're in the bottom 6. You're a streaky player. If you weren't a streaky player, you'd be one of the guys counted on the top 3. So I do agree with you there, but I do think this power play can just stay where it is if something doesn't change. Like, and I don't know what. Again, this is where I think just we need to be more accountable to our mistakes. We're not getting the puck. We're making stupid mistakes out there everywhere, and it's turning it around and killing us every time.
if I was Stan Bowman, I'd be calling Evan Bouchard's agent right now, being like, "So what's the extension price again?" What
I was thinking that too. Like,
$7 million.
He was not good with the puck last
he was
night.
fumble fucking the puck all over the place and all. I was thinking that too during the game. Like, if you can sign him like now, you do it now because he is not looking like the Evan Bouchard that had 82 points last year.
No, far from.
At least not yet.
You can't get pucks through.
He can't get his pucks
That is a
through.
weird
He's
thing.
not-
He's very much turned into sexy Reg in that way.
And he's too passive in his own end. Like I get the feeling of extreme confidence with the puck and not overreacting.
He did the same thing at this point last year, though.
Yeah, and then he got it, but he's got to you just an ounce more of urgency, and you'll be okay. That's all it really is. And I think he's just overthinking things. He's trying too hard. Simplify everything. The whole power play. Simplify thing. Put the puck on the damn. Win the faceoff. Get it back to the point. Every forward go to the damn net.
Evan Bouchard is averaging close to 9.5 shot attempts blocked per 60 minutes right now.
That is insane.
So it's like 3 a game, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hmm.
So like for every 7 minutes he's on the ice, basically once a period, yeah,
One block.
he's getting a shot blocked. And like, what's the difference if you can get even 2 out of those 3 through traffic?
Especially with a shot like his.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have, but he's already proven he has like different variations of his shot too, right? He can absolutely bomb the puck, but then he takes something off of it, and those are the ones that go in the net. And every time it's the announcer, whether it be ours or someone else's, they mention the fact that he didn't. This was not 100% power. This was 85, and that's how it got through instead.
He hasn't touched the top shot power yet this season.
I'll tell you one thing. If I was making a list before the season started of all the issues I thought the Oilers might have, the power play would not have been on it.
There's a lot of the issues we have right now at the top of the list of our issues that would not have been on said list.
Special teams have been a disaster. They're going to be a factor in the game one way or another. And with the Oilers right now, you don't really know which side of the coin you're going to get. Power play came through against Calgary, game winner. Nice play. Draisaitl, Nuge, Hyman in. And then last night, they couldn't do anything.
Did he get one against Nashville too? Or are those all even strength goals?
I think they're all even strength because I think we said today on the show that they've only scored power play goals in 6 of their games this year, 5 of their games this year.
Yeah, something like that. Not ideal.
Especially for this team.
Yeah.
They only got one opportunity in Nashville.
Well, which is another thing
Really got
too.
one opportunity last night too, I think.
Yes.
And only 1 against.
Yeah.
So that is another
And they
part of it
scored on
that's
it.
making
And
it.
they scored immediately. Like I tweeted, perfect time for a shorty, boys. And as I pressed send, the puck was going in the net. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, and that was just from like the middle of the slot again, was it not?
Wide open. Jesper Bratt just he was right there. I know it got deflected on the way in, but
It was not much different position than where Philip Forsberg was for his after the Janmark giveaway, right?
Teams may have a book on the Oilers.
Yeah.
Well,
Sean Monahan scored his from that too.
That should be your book on every damn team
Yeah.
goalie, right? Stand right in the middle, about 10 feet away from the goalie and shoot. All right, that's a pretty good idea.
Also, just while we're
or
on
just
the,
shoot in general.
Well, we haven't figured that out
Like
yet,
this 12 pass thing before they shoot is a big problem for me.
win the faceoff. If we win the faceoff and you don't have a shot in net within 17 seconds, I want you guys all off the ice.
yeah.
You have to change up what you're talking to this team. Take it out of their hands for a minute. You guys will figure it out. I know you will. But for now, we're going to do it my way. We're going to do it our way.
Yeah, you got to simplify, get greasy.
Speaking of the penalties, how egregious was that Dougie Hamilton dive?
Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness
That is-
gracious.
You know, they always say you can yell at the refs. They never change their mind. I'm pretty sure Zach Hyman yelling at the refs changed their mind.
That
on
one was,
He was pointing right away.
so
Yeah.
bad.
He dove twice because he dove in on his own blue line later on in the third, I think it was.
It was you would have thought there was a sniper in the building.
Hyman's stick hit him in the nipple and Hamilton's feet kicked out. I was like, what?
Half a second later.
Yeah.
How do you get a slashing call from underneath the other player's stick?
Well,
So most slashing calls are coming from 12 to 6.
Oh, it wasn't a hook?
Nope.
Oh,
If you called it a hook, I probably wouldn't have said anything. Called it a slash. This was going from 6 to 12. I do not understand that's a slash.
that's just my life.
Also, there was that non-call on Nuge in the corner when he just got upended, and I was like, oh, surely that's a power play. I was watching it at a bar with no sound. I was like, that's definitely a power play. Oh, nope, they're just
Cross
still playing
checks,
on.
real aggressive cross checks in there.
I
And
have
then
an issue
that
with
didn't
you
get
watching
called.
that
I'm
with
like,
no sound on.
I was like, prison
Terrible.
rules.
prison rules.
Well, I do want to talk about the Amazon Prime experience.
Yeah, I was at the game, so I don't know about it.
Ah.
I had I had two texts. One said it was good. One said it wasn't good.
My only problem with it was that the contrast was like cranked up so high that the ice was burning my eyeballs.
They've done that in Sportsnet games too. It just takes them a minute to fucking fix it.
It just never got fixed.
Yeah, I've actually sat there like trying to figure out, is this my TV?
The stream was actually, I thought,
I heard the stream was bad. And like I said, one was good.
the stream was fine for me. I think that might be an internet issue with people having choppy stream, but like it was fine for me. The weird part as I was logging into Prime before the game was that they didn't have any kind of pregame show. They were just showing the players warming up on the ice, which I actually liked. But then when the players got off, it was just a wide shot and arena noise for 11 minutes.
No pregame, just like Sportsnet.
They did get a pregame when the broadcast kicked in at 6:30, but like in the 15 minutes leading up, it was just arena noise.
Which I guess is better than like the alternative, I guess, would be that they just don't start the stream yet. So
I liked watching the players warm up.
Yeah, I do think though you need some element of a pregame show. And I would say that doing it that way, where it's like just the crowd, that'd be cool in a playoff game. If I could see what it's like in Toronto for a playoff game, is Everton a bad example because the platinum seat people are never there. But Boston, let's say, if I could see what it's like in Boston before a playoff game, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I think that was kind of the general consensus from Oiler fans, was that they were really enjoying the pregame, just being able to listen to the sounds of the game kind of thing.
It was a very ASMR-ish kind of intro.
That was the call.
Call's fine. I don't know what that guy's name is, but he was like on, you've seen him on American broadcast before.
Yeah.
It was fine. No problems. They were talking, but it was funny though, because it was like an Amazon production and they're going into things like, this is the Ice Palace at the mall. This is where the brick tournament is played.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just like going into players that have played there. I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
So were they trying to like sell Edmonton at that point?
Not really. Like the other thing they showed was the Mark Messier Arena in St. Albert. They were like, this is the Mark Messier Arena. So St. Albert is part of Edmonton. We're
But
like,
Moose
not
Buck-
really, but
He
okay.
works for them though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But he wasn't on the broadcast.
Which is also weird. It's like
that
Mark
makes-
Messier will do select games this year. It's like he did both Leafs games, then didn't do the Oilers game. What?
That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So Messier was not on the broadcast.
I also liked when they had Stan Bowman on and Andy Petrillo was like, you took a few years off. And I was like,
I'm really glad that you said
Well,
that.
wasn't he suspended?
Yeah, he even
He
said
did take
he's
a
like
few years off though.
he's like, yeah, I had a few years off, really enjoyed the game, watching the game. It's like, what?
You were suspended.
Yeah.
That'd be
One
like,
way of looking at it.
oh, whatever. I'm not going to.
Yeah, and that's and I
That
said
is
that
making lemonade. one would call that.
what else can he say? He's addressed it a few times now, but yeah, it was it felt a little national broadcasty to me. Like it was the Edmonton Oilers versus the New Jersey Devils all the time. They said Edmonton Oilers more than they said Oilers. It just little things like that. But again, it's a national broadcast. so
Mostly, I just don't like watching an Oilers game on TV without Jack.
yeah,
That's what I'm learning.
part of it.
Not that they were bad; they were fine. I wonder if they were disappointed where they had like the table set up, that there wasn't a lot of people behind them. It was pretty empty at
First
Fort Hall
intermission
behind
with
them.
Bowman was rough looking.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was just at the bottom of like
That was at the bottom of the gigantic
of the
escalator.
gigantic. I walked past in the first intermission. Yeah, there was.
Were
only half
you
of
the
people.
guy doing the Rizzler face?
What is that? No, definitely not.
Rick doesn't
No,
know who the
wasn't you?
Rizzler is.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that chubby kid, isn't it?
Ah, there we go. Rick knows who the Rizzler is.
Pretty
Yeah, you played.
Pretty good
Yeah.
assessment of him. There you go.
He's 7. Come on. He's growing through it.
Don't they make him eat like a bunch of shitty food?
No, that's AJ and the Costco guys. The
Yeah.
Rizzler hangs out with them, but he doesn't do the food stuff.
And they're not related. God, get with it.
You can go Google Brady Tkachuk's assessment on your own time.
And they were on Jimmy Fallon, which was the most awkward thing I've ever watched.
There was a clip, there was a part of it.
It kept going boom, and Jimmy's just like, oh my goodness.
And then the Rizzler tried a Twizzler
Yeah.
and he took a bite and was like, boom. And then he turns and he goes to Jimmy Fallon. He goes, where do I put this? And Jimmy Fallon just looks at him and goes, yeah, all right. So then this kid just had to hold the Twizzler the rest of the interview.
Why didn't he just eat it?
Because he didn't like it.
Yeah, you guys keep calling him chubby. No wonder he didn't want to finish
It
it.
was just the
Good
way
for him.
Jimmy Fallon was like, yeah, all right. It was like,
It's like, dude, he's 7.
yeah. It was weird.
Anyway, there's your delicious debate for our friends at Odd Company. We're going to get into the news. everything that's happening. We got a new line of Nation Gear up. Nation Gear is teaming up with Jasper Minor Hockey to raise funds to help cover the costs to keep children playing on the ice. If you don't know, they are having to go out to Hinton right now to play. They got some repairs needing to be done within the rink that's been used as a central hub after the fire. So we're trying to help them raise some money. So every purchase of the For Love of the Game merch helps local kids in Jasper keep playing the game they love. Visit nationgear.ca today. Thank you for supporting the Jasper community. For the Love of the Game shirts. They're pretty cool. Shout out to Kennedy for designing those. I think they're really neat.
Yeah, we had Liam and I had an interview with Jessica Prinz, who is the president of Jasper Minor Sports, the other day, and she kind of explained a little bit more about this and where the money's going. Like, not only can they not play in their rink, so they got to go play out of town, and that's a bunch of increased travel costs. They got to get a bunch of new jerseys. And also, since so many of the businesses in town were also affected, they've lost some of their
sponsors.
Yeah, like their sponsors and stuff, right? So they need to, again, make up more money than they've had to in normal years just to be normally operational. The rink is too smoke damaged, and they were in the middle of doing renovations to it this summer, and those had to come to a halt. So they basically have to restart that. Like, there's a laundry list, so they could use a lot of support after what they went through in the summer. And again, I think everyone can kind of sympathize with kids wanting to be on the ice and get back to their normal lives.
Nationgear.ca. Go check it out. The merch is awesome. Shout out to Kennedy for doing a really, really good job on that. I want to start with news that came out yesterday. Connor McDavid was taking a twirl on the ice and coming back sooner than expected? ?
After last night, I'm guessing he does play Saturday.
So Saturday, so we got the game tomorrow against Vegas, nothing until Saturday in Vancouver.
And I said Saturday because he said no to Vegas and wouldn't rule out Saturday when he was speaking yesterday.
I feel like Saturday is going to happen.
So do I.
They sent down Kajula, and again, they wanted to keep an extra forward around, and maybe my theory or line of thinking with this is they're sitting here and going, okay, we know Derek Ryan is healthy enough to play Wednesday. We know we will have enough players to play on Wednesday. Saturday, even if someone gets hurt, Connor's back, so we're good.
Do you like Derek Ryan or Drake in the lineup?
Drake.
That's your preference?
Mm-hmm.
Also mine.
And mine. Dan?
I didn't mind Kajula's game last night.
He didn't play last night.
Or the night
Ryan's
before.
game?
Yeah, the night before.
But who would you rather have in the lineup?
Against it. Calgary. At this moment, probably Derek Ryan, but I don't mind what I've seen from Kajula.
I legitimately don't give a fuck.
See, and I do, and I think there's a difference because I think that Drake is a little faster. I think Drake he takes the body a little more, and he's a little more greasy, blue collar player.
And we need
that type of thing because otherwise we play very sleepy.
He's playing fast and loose, I think, right now. But
Because
the other angle too with Drake Kajula, like now that I'm thinking about it, that line against Nashville was really good.
And they know each other because they play together a little bit at least.
Yeah, Corey Perry is the same age as both of them combined.
Oh, yeah. 46.
They really did drop their average age, though, for a couple of games.
56.
But like I did like that line against Nashville. So if I'm giving you a serious answer, Drake Kajula probably deserved at least another couple of reps.
Yeah, and I don't think I would have taken him out of the lineup after the Calgary game.
I just think they very clearly don't want to put Derek Ryan on waivers. And again, if you think Connor's coming back Saturday, they don't want to put Derek Ryan on waivers yet.
Well, and I mean, there's a little bit more to this AHL thing too, with the veterans and the not having enough roster spots filled.
Well,
that's an issue as an organization.
yesterday.
But they're also super short forwards down there because Ruby Jarventi's hurt again. So
Yes.
Is that going to be a big issue?
probably.
Because everyone's like, we got a player here, and he's been twice, and like he's been hurt twice in that sentence.
Yeah.
So what we got here for the games coming up is we got Vegas tomorrow night. I got some stats that I wanted to share with you guys about Vegas because I'm working on the game notes for OilersNation.com.
You mean
tomorrow.
facts?
They're
Stats
both
are
stats and facts. So we got Vegas tomorrow. That's at home. Vancouver on Saturday. And then the Islanders back at home on the 12th, which is next Tuesday. By the way, Liam, what the fuck's with the schedule here?
I can't talk about it anymore. It's a disaster.
We got back-to-backs just finished. Break, game, 2 days break, game, 2 days break.
Well, the weekend thing would have a little to do with the PBR. Not the beer, the bull riders are back here.
They're back?
It's
The bull
different.
riders, just bull riding, not the whole rodeo, just bull riding. So they were out beside that.
Horses got cut?
The outdoor rink thingy, that circle. They had a bull out there yesterday.
The ice right by you.
Yes, right under my face.
Can't they put them in the community rink?
No, was Rexall being used?
Too stinky. Yeah,
What,
the
Rexall?
schedule sucks.
Agreed.
Shocker.
Anyway, so like,
yeah.
I want to get back to Connor. So I think that if he doesn't play Saturday, which I actually think he's going to play, he's absolutely back in on the 12th, back at home against the Islanders.
Yeah, I think he's on. Yeah, I think he's in on Saturday. Unless there's a setback, which I don't think there will be. I think he's in on Saturday.
I just imagine he's been sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber the entire time he's been gone.
I have a question. We had someone in our chat today say, don't play him against Vancouver because they'll be out for blood slashing his ankle. Do you guys have any concern about that?
No, because I think any team would do that. Like, why would the Islanders not try and do that too? To win the game?
And also, Vancouver's got their own set of issues right now. They just need to win games.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
You also have to
I
catch the guy.
understand it, but yeah, you got to get him. I get it, but it's just like, whatever. It's a risky run playing, I suppose.
I'm of the mindset I think it's early enough in the season that I wouldn't play him in Vancouver just to give him that extra game and just kind of force him to sit out another one and get him a little bit hungrier too.
Well, if you don't do that, to Dan's point, then he would get an extra, 3 days rest based on the schedule that Lehman left.
He's going to have to work for 2.5 hours.
Can stay back in Edmonton.
Yep.
Air travel's annoying.
Yep. Vancouver's annoying.
Vancouver
Air
fans
travel's
suck.
annoying. The Oilers flying to Vancouver for the hour and 5-minute flight on their special plane where they just drive up and walk into the plane.
It's annoying, Rick.
It could be annoying for us. And I know
Ear
Tyler's had some-
popping the altitude. Come on. What? You never know.
Who's going to feed
Snacks
Lenny?
they got. You got to load shows on the one wherever
The heated driveway has been acting up, I heard, in that snowfall this morning.
They definitely have Wi-Fi on their plane, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I would go no
Do you
Wi-Fi.
think they make them pay for it?
Oh, $20.
You
I would
would
go
pay
no
the
Wi-Fi to
Wi-Fi?
bring the players closer together.
They play cards all the time.
Yeah, but
That's on an app that they connect via Wi-Fi.
Do they have Wi-Fi?
That's the oldest thing I've ever heard you say in the young man's body.
Bro, I had a bowl of mushroom
They do
soup
meal
for lunch
service?
yesterday. I'm a full-on 70-year-old right now.
I love
Fly
mushroom
soup
soup. Don't disrespect
I
mushroom
think
soup.
they're on their phones too much.
Yeah. Well, they got
Probably
that's
that. It's,
Tyler's point.
You know
Got
what
to
that
cancel
was?
Wi-Fi.
they probably all got Call of Duty. That's what the problem was last night.
No, they're too old. They're too old of a team to be playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
We're the oldest team in the league. You know,
New update on their bridge apps on their iPads. That's what's taking it away.
Oh, who doesn't like a nice game of canasta? The other thing I want to mention after the Oilers, there was a trade last night right before the game started.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
The Oilers traded Ben Gleason. Disappointed me because he's an annual contender for the Ty Ratty Award.
Yeah, that'll be disappointing. What are we going to do next year?
Up for grabs.
Well, hopefully next year there's some bigger names in there.
I do think that the signal from the Oilers of sending a guy in Gleason who was, one of your call-ups for defense.
But on the left side, though.
Yeah, and but I agree. But I think that that's the message from them is that you're bringing in a Tard to try and possibly be a call-up at some point.
Yeah, probably rather sooner than later.
In 2023-24, Addard played with the Phantoms. He had 48 games, 10 goals, 17 assists, 27 points. Legit numbers for a defenseman. in the
10
NHL.
goals is good.
And he's 6'3", 210.
Damn.
Big boy.
And he just had a fight on Saturday.
Who do you fight?
Dylan Peterson of the Springfield Falcons.
Classic. If you can fight Dylan Peterson, you can play on the Oilers. I've said it for years.
Well, there's also the angle that they didn't fight last night, lost the game. It's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Well, there was a point of that game where I was like, nobody fights. You don't go ruin this record right now. Because I know we just don't got it right now.
Question.
Answer.
How tall is Ty Emberson?
He's not.
Yes.
Why?
That's one of those. It's one of those U18 players Rick was talking about.
6'2" according to his Wikipedia.
6
page.
foot. Rick, he's a big.
So he's 6'2" according to
Listed,
Wikipedia.
yeah,
What's he listed for the Oilers? Because that's the one where it's usually it's maybe
Probably
a
6'4".
point and a half too high.
Well, it depends.
Is
He's 6'2".
6'2".
Whoa.
Yeah,
And
so
193
let's
pounds.
like 6'1"ish.
193 pounds.
Well, I want the Yaremchuk math because he's the one that inflates his height.
That's where I'm kind of curious is what do you define as?
Yeah,
a
how
player?
big do these men need to be?
Well, you need to
1
start.
inch can make all the difference.
You need to weigh.
Depends on if you're measuring from the girth or from the.
You need to weigh more. But you just you can get pushed out of the way by bigger forwards, and there's nothing that you get. It's just that's the thing.
I was going to add it. I just
It's tougher to push a big body out of the way, and you need those big. And you need the big bodies. We're not going back to the day of like big bodies that can't play hockey, but you can find guys that can move the puck very well.
Who texted you? Legit?
Colby said he watched him in college a bunch, and then Frank said that he was like, I could actually see them calling this guy up. He was in Torch's doghouse.
I got a text on September 27th, 2024 from someone who has no sources and texted me, said, a Todd to the Oilers, ? And I said, I have no idea who that is. And he texted me.
Just like one of your buddies?
Yeah, one of my buddies. And then yesterday he just texted me insider. It's like, I don't think I should know anything.
Well, nailed
The
it.
next thing that guy tells you,
Believe
you
it.
better just
I
throw it out
know.
there for us.
I
Yeah,
know.
run with it. The other news, talking about the Condors, as we mentioned, the Oilers have loaned Drake Caggiula back to the Condors, and they've signed Braden Tracy to an AHL PTO.
Former first round pick.
You say they're missing forwards, like they're just down bad?
Yeah, like they apparently are struggling to dress enough forwards because guys are hurt. And then they called up Caggiula and Philp, and I was like, hey.
What is
Oh, I
the
think-
AHL rule that Gregor was tweeting about last night?
So there's a rule about how many veterans you're allowed to have in your lineup, and like professional veterans, not NHL vets in the American leagues. You can only dress so many on a given night.
7, I think.
Yeah, and the Oilers or the Condors had one too many. So every night they had to keep healthy scratching a veteran. So now they can play Addard and Gleason can actually go play somewhere. You don't have to healthy scratch a vet every night. You can just play everybody.
Do you think at all Drake comes back real quick? Because I believe they're actually playing in Calgary.
They are in Calgary.
So does he only hang out with them for close proximity? Like, I don't know if they're in Calgary for 1 or 2 and maybe ship over to Abbotsford or whatever the beef, like the one in Vancouver is.
Yeah, they're in Abbotsford and Calgary, and then we do play in Vancouver on Saturday.
Yeah, so maybe they just told Drake, hey, go play a couple games and we'll see you in Van.
Yeah,
Interesting.
crew cap for
So
3
they've got
days.
Today, the Condors play down at the Saddle Dome. Tomorrow, they also play down at the Saddle Dome. So you got a
Sorry.
little back-to-back at the Saddle
Oh.
Dome. And then Saturday, Sunday, they play Abbotsford.
So he's
So they play
sticking
4
around.
games in Western Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then that's kind of a
Interesting.
no-brainer.
And then they go, then they got the San Diego Gulls next weekend.
But isn't that also a good way to send Derek Ryan through as well? But like, hey, you don't have to go far for 4 games.
Well, are you worried about his travel or are you worried about him getting picked up?
I'm worried about neither of them getting picked up.
Ouch.
I mean,
Are
Boston
you?
put Max Jones on waivers today. Like
Yeah, you
players like that get put on waivers all the time.
Yeah.
don't start this again.
What?
Well, Max Jones
No,
is
because
26.
we said that all the time.
Ryan's
Then we said it with
34.
Lavoie, and Lavoie actually went that time. I know it's 1 out of a trillion, so that's fine. But no, you were saying earlier that you don't think the Oilers want to put Derek Ryan on waivers or on waivers yet. Is it because you think he would get picked up?
No, I don't think I don't think he would get picked up.
I think they're just I think they respect him.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But didn't you sign him last year with a 2-year deal, knowing full well that last year was majority going to be Edmonton, and year 2, who knows?
They did do that with Devin Shaw, and I know that's a different player, but Shaw was on a 2-year deal.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, they have to make the tough decision. Like, if you think you have a better chance of winning games with Noah Philp, which from watching, you should think you have a better chance of winning games with Noah Philp, then yeah, I think you have to sit down Derek Ryan and say, hey man, listen, you're going to come back up at some point because we'll run into injuries, and in the playoffs, you're going to be our go-to black ace and all of this stuff. But we need to save a little bit of money, and we have a young guy in Noah Philp who can do what you're doing.
But we're essentially playing Drake over Derek Ryan at this point.
Well, I mean, yesterday they made the flip flop, and then Drake got sent down. So I don't know.
I was
guess
just curious. I checked in on our boy Devin Shortly. Iowa Wild this year. 10 games played, 1 goal, 4 assists.
He was an American League champion last year.
Was he? With Coachella.
Right? They won. I'm sure they won. Another thing with Caggiula too, I think, could be wrong, might not have to clear waivers because of that like period, right?
Correct. They loaned him right back down. Didn't have to go on waivers.
Smiley.
Mm,
So that's probably part of it as well.
maybe.
That's what I mean, right? You had an easy pass to like send Caggiula down, and
So
then
does that
don't
mean
have
they're
to.
now back to accruing?
They are.
Yeah.
And if McDavid returns and they send down Derek Ryan, they'll actually be accruing about 1.1 million.
Do you think? Okay, so let's walk down that line for a second. Connor McDavid's back in the lineup Saturday against Vancouver. Are you sending Derek Ryan down, or is it Noah Philp?
I'm sending Derek Ryan.
I personally keep Noah Philp.
I am not sending Noah Philp anywhere.
I agree with you.
He
But what
just-
did the Oilers do?
They're not sending him anywhere. You can't. Like they already know they're not big enough. That's why they made the trade yesterday. He's a big body. That like it's tough to push him out of the way. And that was kind of what I was talking about with Lavoie too. It's just a bigger body. They're tougher to deal with.
I mean, their fourth line should be like Lavoie, Perry, Philp. That would be a good, cheap fourth line. But it's not.
But I even like Drake. I like Drake there too the other day.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine. I was saying on the other show, just Derek Ryan wouldn't have shot that puck when Perry scored in the first game against Nashville when they were all up. Kajula did. He was in the spot to score. He's not going to score you. He might score you 4 or 5 goals. And I know Derek Ryan does that too, but he's going to get you in a lot more scoring.
And I think you have a guy like Drake who's more hungry to stay, and Derek Ryan who's a little more comfortable and staying and expects to stay.
I think competition is good.
Yeah.
And the others are lacking that.
And like, I don't think I don't want this to come off as like, oh, Derek Ryan's bad. Like,
No,
Derek Ryan
God,
is
no.
totally serviceable. There is just a clear upside to a guy like Philp.
Yes.
Speaking of Derek Ryan, just really quickly, can we talk about the Waz video?
That we won't be seeing soon.
What is the
If
video?
you don't know, our boy Waz went to the signing thingy at West Edmonton Mall
Right.
to get his jersey signed again
Mhm.
by Derek Ryan.
Both numbers are now signed.
Both numbers are signed. The OEG web team
Mm-hmm.
interviewed Waz about this. They've put it on their social media. They played it in the building last night. And they're just calling Waz a TikTok influencer.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome.
I think it's so funny
It
because
is.
when they posted that, all I can see is people tagging us, tagging Waz, tagging us, tagging Waz. Somebody's going to get a talking to. You'd have to think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Rick's face is still on the side of the building.
Well, that is true.
TikTok influencer.
I mean, like, Waz is the guy, though, who can't go to a game without people screaming like 20 times. And I'm like, TikTok Oilers Nation guy.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I'm sure they saw the reaction and the tagging and were like, someone was like, whoops.
I just think.
But if
it's
they
so
called him
funny.
an influencer, they knew what it was. They knew who he was.
I'm saying someone knew who he was and someone knew what they were doing and someone above them didn't know that that was happening.
I see
Yeah, that's
you're
what
saying.
I'm thinking too. That's what I'm thinking too.
Well, we'll see going forward because I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now.
Yep.
The other thing I just want to, we got a betting segment. I'm going to try something a little bit different with you guys today. But how's UFC?
Fine.
Not a glowing review.
You're more excited for curling this weekend.
I 100% am more excited for the girl this weekend. The UFC. So I sat in the upper bowl so I could see over. And it actually worked well. But the one thing they did, and they didn't know they were doing this, they had huge projectors and screens in the 4 corners of the rink. So that whole entire section was not like no one sat in those sections because they had these big screens. So that was the one section over to me. And it wasn't distracting to the view, but occasionally your eyes obviously drifted to it to see a little bit clearer. And the view was fine, but the first 3 or 4 fights of the main card were okay. A bit of competition, like there was a knockout. It was fun. It was only 3 rounds. And then once it got to the 5 rounds, the 4 fighters that were going just didn't really want to fight. Like they didn't want to lose the fight. They weren't fighting to win, you know? So kind of lame.
They kept one of them, and one of them is still in town.
Yeah, Brandon
Yeah, the game
Marino.
last night.
I think he stayed to go to that game. What do they call it? The Day of the Dead game?
They do call it that.
Because he's a Mexican athlete. So,
Did you put a couple of nickels down anywhere?
yeah, the one I actually was winning until the one guy got knocked out. Minus 200 favorite. Took one, just was being pinned the whole time. And then stood up, started throwing fists, forgot he had to also block them. Just took one right to the
Yeah,
jaw.
that
and
happens.
just
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, they'll get
Call
you.
that the Pod Colson.
Yes.
Betting segment. He walks us right into it. Lehman. The betting segment was brought to you by our friends at Bet365, proud partner of Oilersnation Radio. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code NATION. Code is NATION.
Hey, Sean.
Nation. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight because there are no odds for tomorrow's game against Vegas. So we've got 11 games on the slate tonight. I just want to know how well you guys know your odds. I'm going to tell you who's playing where. You just pick who's the favorite. Some of these are obvious. You know, when I tell you, Tyler, Utah's playing at Winnipeg, who's the favorite there?
Winnipeg, massive.
That's an easy one. They are minus 220 as the favorites. I would say the same thing goes for Seattle playing at Colorado. Tyler, who's the favorite there?
Colorado.
It would be minus 185. Vancouver's playing Vancouver. Tyler, who would be the favorite there?
Vancouver's playing who?
Or Anaheim.
We're playing Vancouver.
Oh,
Vancouver.
They are a battle against themselves.
They are. Vancouver, big favorites.
Let's get a little trickier. The Boston Bruins are playing at Toronto Maple Leafs. One is plus 105. The other is minus 125. Who is the favorite?
I'm going to guess the Boston Bruins are the favorite.
I'm going to say Bruins are the favorites because no Matthews.
I have Bruins as favorite.
Oh, yeah, I guess. That's a good
Right
point.
before we started, the Leafs are still the favorites at minus 125. Even sans Matthews.
Minus 125?
Minus 125.
Wow, how long? What did Matthews do?
Upper body injury day today.
Up next, another interesting one. Calgary Flames at Montreal Canadiens. One is minus 150. One is plus 125. Who's the favorite?
It has to be Montreal, right?
I would say Montreal because of the home team, but I think Calgary's been playing better right now.
No.
I think the Habs are home dogs tonight.
I'll go with Calgary as the favorites.
I'm going to guess Calgary because we're playing a game.
Montreal is the home dogs tonight at plus 125. Tyler's correct.
Oh.
Another interesting one here I've got because they're two teams that you never know what you're going to get. How about Pittsburgh at New York Islanders? Who is the favorite on the money line?
Islanders.
Islanders?
Islanders are at home, yeah.
Islanders are the favorite.
Yeah, the Islanders are the favorites. And I like Pittsburgh in this spot.
That's probably the tipping point too, though.
Yeah.
If you like
the home ice.
if you like the Penguins, then you're going to want to pick them dogs at plus 110 at New York Islanders.
I'm excited for the Islanders this year. I can't wait till we get close to the deadline. They're 15, 18 points out, and they acquire the best player on the market.
Nick Foligno
Yeah.
from the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, they go get Foligno, and I know they just re-signed Matt Mine, but they extend him.
How about this one, Lehman? The Los Angeles Kings are at Minnesota Wild. Who's the favorite in that
That's
game?
easy.
Los Angeles Kings are at the Mild.
Mm-hmm.
The Mild must be
The Mild Wild.
The Mild are the favorites.
The Mild are
Wild
the
are one of
favorites.
the better teams in the league right now.
They're minus 180. How about a basement bowl?
San Jose.
We've got Columbus at San Jose.
Oh, how
Who is the
excited.
favorite?
Oh, Columbus should be favorites there. They should be.
Celebrini back.
So I'll bring you back.
I bet San Jose is the favorite just for that little
I'm
part.
going San Jose. They got Cody Ceci.
Columbus is
Come
the
on.
favorite at minus 130. San Jose is plus 110 there.
Minus 130 Columbus.
Yep.
That's not bad. They're healthy scratching Jake Wallman tonight.
There you go. Little guess that line. Seeing how well the boys know who is the favorites if you're just straight up looking at the money line. There you go.
Pittsburgh have won back-to-back games and only allowed one goal in each of them. I was saying.
Didn't
Sounds
score any
like they're
goals
about
against them.
to-
Bet the Islanders.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they're due. The betting segment, of course, brought to you by Bet365. Open an account at Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The code is NATION. We got a game coming up tomorrow against the Vegas Golden Knights. Let me give you little stats here. Again, I'm working on the game notes tomorrow. The Vegas Golden Knights are the only team in the NHL with a perfect home record. However, they are winless on the road.
Whoa.
They are giving up a league worst 4.5 goals against per game on the road while only giving up 2.2 at home.
Yeah, they're 8-0 at home. That's crazy.
We're doing the whole Vegas flu thing. They maybe got a little Lawrence Taylor
Little
thing going
Vegas
on.
flu.
Who's their goalie? Is it Aiden Hill?
Tomorrow night, let's do a score prediction. Oilers at versus Golden Knights at Rogers Place. Dan,
5-2 Vegas win.
You just said they don't win.
No.
8-6 Oilers.
there you go.
4-3 Golden Knights in overtime.
5-2 Edmonton.
What the heck?
8-1 Oilers. Little score prediction. Enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll talk to you on Friday.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.